Welcome back to the shipyard. Today we are talking about the Val Jean. And with the Val Jean, that means a silly French accent. No, I won't be talking in a silly French accent the whole time. Mostly because that would be annoying and probably insulting. Yes, I can make silly French jokes, but I have nothing against the French. The Val Jean is from Wave 8. That's the same wave as the Enterprise E and the Queen Vessel Prime, October of 2014. And if you're like me, you went, oh, this is the third ship in this wave. The E is better and the Queen Vessel Prime is better. So why do I care? You know, and I thought that way for a very long time. But Hugo Torres ran a super defensive Val Jean at Washington Regionals in spring of 2016. It made me go, oh, there's something here. And I've been messing around with this in terms of a power defensive build. And there's a lot to the Val Jean. Yes, it goes into super crazy mixing. But, oh, yeah. Enough setup. The Val Jean herself is a 22.2333 evade, target lock, scan, battle station, 2 crew, 2 weapon, no tech. Named ability. During the modified defense dice step, you may disable up to 3 of your upgrades to add 1 evade result to your roll for each upgrade you disabled with this card. Really, it's with the ability. So the basic premise here is bring up to 3 upgrades that you don't need to have multiple times, disable them, and then have some means of bringing them back. That could be Tim Waters, that could be the Beverly Doctor combo. There's any number of things that will work to keep your upgrades refreshing. But the Val Jean is going to be the best way to disable, re-enable, keep that whole cycle going. And maybe you run something like Duros when all is said and done, and you can discard them to get more attack dice. The maneuver dial on the Val Jean is absolutely fantastic. The 3 come about as red, but outside of that, you're dealing with 2 and 3 white turns, 4 green maneuvers, kind of the standard 4, the 1-2 straight, the 1 banks. It caps out at a 4 straight, but you've got a 90-90 arc. Outside of only 2 primary attack dice, there's kind of not much not to like here. 3 agility is pretty good, 6 total durability, but you're going, okay, what about meg charges? Well, that can hurt you. Yeah, it can take away your defense dice, but then you just use the named ability to get evade results, and you'll cancel out mag charges. If somebody has multiple mag charges in their fleet, then you're in some trouble because this is a named ability that only works once per round. But, I'm good. My point here is the Val Jean, really good ship, so pay attention to it. Captains. We've got Calvin Hudson. He can add either a weapon, tech, or a crew slot to your upgrade bar. Your choice. If this card is assigned to an independent ship, all of your upgrades cost 1 less squad point. For a 5 skill captain, he is pretty good. He is not fantastic, but he is a combo enabler. He goes on things like the Kumari, your Maquis ships. He can go on the Krenim. Basically, he goes on an independent ship or even a different ship. He gives you that slot that you need, and then he makes things cheaper. What he is best suited for right now is being a fleet commander second. as long as you are running a bunch of upgrades, he discounts everything, and he essentially pays for himself, if not more. Is he an always bring? No. But he definitely has a place, and I call him tier 2 because he's definitely good. Chakotay is the other captain, skill 6 with a talent slot. That'll cost you 4 points. Add a crew or a weapon upgrade to your upgrade bar, your choice. Action. Perform a second maneuver on your maneuver dial with a number of 3 or less. Place an Ox power token beside your ship. If the extra maneuver is a red maneuver, place a second Ox power token beside your ship. I really like the named ability here. Doing a second maneuver is a great ability. This just says, hey, I want to move again, so let me do that. Paying an Ox to do that? Perfectly reasonable. It's like having the engage talent, except without the other stipulation of having to have done a green move. So, Chakotay is one of those captains that I don't ever see anyone run. And I'm guilty of not running him ever. But for those times when you need something that is going to give you an extra action, Chakotay should certainly be on the radar. I think he probably ends up being more mission playable than completely OP viable, but that's not a huge problem. Okay, we've got a couple of talents here. First off is Be Creative. That's 5-point unique. You may disable this card at any time to replace one evade, scan, or battle station token beside your ship with one evade, scan, or battle station token. I don't like this at all. I think it's way too expensive, especially with the at any time ruling. Look for this to see some fix on Get the Cheese to Sickbay. The other talent is Evasive Pattern Omega. 3-point unique. After all ships have moved, if you are in the forward firing arc of an enemy ship and that ship is not in your forward firing arc, you may disable this card to immediately perform a sensor echo action, even if you do not have it on your action bar. This I do like. I love the timing, that it's the last thing that's going to happen in the activation phase. I don't like that you can't have them in your arc, but at least it's restricted to the forward firing arc. So it has some usability on those 90 forward arc ships. The problem there is the wording of if you are in the forward firing arc of an enemy ship, so it's not going to work against Borg, and it's not going to work against a ship that can shoot you with a 360 weapon like Voyager, Enterprise D, anything using dorsals. So I wish it would say something like if an enemy ship can target you with its primary weapon, that would allow for Borg to attack you as well. Not that this will get you out of a Borg firing arc, but maybe it could if you can get out to range 3. Just a thought there, but Evasive Pattern Omega is pretty good at 3 points. It works. We get a whole smattering of crew, which I'm going to say for last, and that's going to let me talk about ramming attack. This is a 3-point non-unique weapon. For an attack, you discard this card and immediately perform a 1 straight maneuver. If your ship overlaps an enemy ship, destroy your ship and roll 6 attack dice to damage the enemy ship. The enemy ship rolls -3 defense dice against this attack, obviously down to a minimum of 0. This upgrade may only be purchased for a ship with a hull of 3 or less, and cannot be used with the cheat death upgrade. Obviously, if you're going to ram your ship, you can't save your ship from destruction. My only concern with this card, because I do genuinely like it, is that it is 3 points. I just have problems paying that many points to blow myself up. There's also the fact that I could conceivably be destroyed before it's my attack. I'd like to be able to do this first. I'd like this to have its own timing window at the end of the activation phase, at the start of the combat phase. Give me something that lets me jump. It's a ramming attack. It's a bridge between movement and attacking. I don't know. I'll figure something out before I get the cheese to sickbay on this. It's a reasonable card. It's a cool idea. It goes into the quote-unquote exploding lawn darts build, and there's something fun about it. It's just not quite good enough yet. That being said, this in combination with I Stab at Thee and Tasha Yar, very, very fun to just throw into an opponent and say, yeah, you're in trouble. Oh, so much trouble. All right, crew. First up, Kenneth Dalby. 2-point, unique, action, disable this card to repair 1 damage to your hull or shields, or action, discard this card to repair up to 2 damage to your hull or shields. I like Dalby for the second action in combination with regeneration sequencers, because then I'm essentially getting 3 repair. 2 for Dalby and 1 because I've discarded an upgrade. I find his first part to be too slow. And I understand a repair that works every other turn. I think he'd be fine now with time tokens, but he's okay. He's usable. I've played him in an OP, but I did him in combination with the regeneration sequencers, and that made him a lot better. Now, I don't know that I could ever just run him. Next up, we have Tuvok. 3-point, unique. During the combat phase, after you complete an attack that you initiated, you may disable this card to immediately perform an additional 1 maneuver, straight bank, or turn. Again, sure, this is cool. It's a little overpriced, but it works. It would be far better with time tokens, and far more representative to coax that little bit more every so often, not every other turn or every third turn, or however often you're able to spare an action. It seems just that little too much that I never run this, even though it would be useful. Our second to last crew is B'Elanna Torres. 4-point, unique. Whenever you initiate an attack at range 3 during the roll attack dice step of the combat phase, you may disable this card to gain +1 attack die or +2 attack dice if this upgrade is deployed to a ship with a hull of 3 or less. The problem here is that it only works at range 3. And I understand that you don't want to just hand out dice all the time, but this ability would not be ridiculous if it just worked without the range 3 restriction. So, because of the range 3, she never sees play. And without the range 3, she'd probably see a fair bit of play. Last crew, and thus last card in this pack, because we don't talk about photon torpedoes, is Seska. 5-point, unique. Action, discard this card and disable one of your other upgrades to target a ship at range 1 to 3. Target ship cannot attack your ship this round. You guys know what I think about targeting a ship that cannot attack a specific ship. It's like, why? Just, it doesn't work. I don't want to spend an action, discard, and a disable to force you just to shoot somebody else. This hurts. This just really hurts. It's too costly on my part and then it does almost nothing to affect you, other than to say, oh, it's 1 less ship that's going to target me this time, but they're just going to shoot me next time. So, yeah. Alright, overall, this pack is one to get for the named ship, and it's one to get for the captains. That's where this pack is worthwhile. A couple of the upgrades are interesting. They certainly have mission viability, but it's not a pack of upgrades that makes you go, wow, that's the key to my build. That's what I've been missing to make my run at the title in my next OP series. No. But the ship might, captains might, and sometimes that's all you need. So, keep it in mind. And I'm going to not ramble and get out. But until next time, we'll see you around the shipyard, and viva la resistance. Take care, guys.